So please excuse the intrusion. I know that many of you who are boxing fans and have heard the news that Lomachenko versus Lopez did about 3 million views are either very excited about that, you're either celebrating or you're commiserating, whatever side of the fence you sit on, or you're finding a reason to justify why things went one way or another, or you believe yourself to be some sort of savant or sage. But that's by the by. I think most boxing fans are prone to some form of caricature and exaggeration. And, dare I say, just as much as some fighters or promoters, delusions of grandeur. But let's not get too philosophical or academic about it and challenge a point of view. That point of view being that Julie Lederman, the daughter of Harold Lederman, somehow created or performed the cardinal sin due to her scoring. And you've got people like the manager of Lomachenko himself somewhat implying that maybe she shouldn't even be involved in boxing anymore. Maybe I need to read the article again. The article's in the ESPN. And he is suggesting that the fix was somewhat in somehow because Julie Lederman, daughter of Harold Lederman, who incidentally used to have somewhat difficult to comprehend scoring methods on, was it HBO? Okay, Jim. Remember that? Anyway, he used to do that. But here's the thing. I think she's probably following her father's footsteps because you see, her father, right, didn't really like those kind of boxers like Lomachenko either. He used to like the sort of heavy punching, I can see the punches clearly type of fighters. But listen, I'm not trying to justify the lady. All I'm saying is this: is that I see a trend here. First thing, let's start with the sort of surface. I would call it superficial, but let's say the thing the thing that is sort of at the surface, but sort of papered over. And this sort of trend that I see when it comes to female judges, that there seems to be more of an outcry. I mean, they get it wrong, just like their male counterparts get it wrong. But when it's an Adelaide Bird, okay, or when it's a CJ, whatever her name was, God, I can't remember that woman's name. I wish I could. From the Floyd Mayweather Canelo fight. Well, it's Adelaide Bird. Oh, and hers was worse, of course, because she was married to a black referee. You know what I mean? So I think when they saw that, she's absolutely incompetent. Just look at who she married. You got that. And now you've got Julie Lederman. And there hasn't been a problem with Julie Lederman until it came to this fight. And apparently before this fight, Igor Klimas, in some weird request, said that they didn't want to judge from New York City, nor Los Angeles. Now, look at what he's trying to say here. He wanted to say, like, they applied to Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission not to have any judges from New York City because that's where Teofimo Lopez comes from. And to sort of balance that out, they didn't want any judge from Los Angeles, where Lomachenko, who's so popular, so magnificent, was going to train. Because, Lomachenko touched down in Los Angeles and he trained there, so therefore they didn't want a judge to come from there. And Bob Bennett told him to fuck off. That's ridiculous. So in the aftermath of the fight, we get the scoring that we got. And people are in uproar. They're not necessarily making the claims that Igor Klimas is making. He's just making some regional Russian bullshit. Try and justify the fact that they talked a lot of shit and it didn't come to fruition. Nonetheless, I said I'm going to flip this a bit. And I'm not going to spend too long talking about it. I want to say this. Look, let's shrink it down and expand it. Let's shrink it to one incident and expand it over the fight altogether. And then maybe flip it a bit. And then maybe it can make sense. And then we can sort of address the hypocrisy and the contradiction involved here. I'm not talking about the gender aspect anymore. We're talking about the actual perception of the fight itself. Over and over again, I hear people being outraged by the scorecard of Julie Lederman. Fair enough. I can understand it. But let's look at it from a different perspective. You have many people, and I mean many, many, many people, who are outraged by the scorecard of Julie Lederman, yet do not find it weird. Do not find it a little bit odd. Do not find it absolutely and totally bizarre, because that's the category that I fall in. That people are willing to give Lomachenko, Vasily Lomachenko, the second round. That's insane. That's insane. That is insane. I gotta say one more again. I gotta say it 3 times. You want to tell me, and I don't care if you want to sort of reduce or sort of take away from the whatever Teofimo Lopez was doing in the second round. What I saw was him chase and hit Lomachenko around the ring for almost 90, let's say 90% of that round. And I'm being generous to Lomachenko, giving him that 10%. No way should I even give him that 10%, in all honesty. Because I have a generous heart, a charitable heart, I'll give him 10% of that round. And they said just because within those few seconds that he fought back, it was a swing round. You know, the fact swing round my backside. Swing round implies that you could give it to him. You could give him the second round. So you're willing to give Lomachenko the second round, but you're not willing to sort of use that same metric, that same standard that you used to give Lomachenko the second round. You're not willing to see it from Julie Lederman's point of view, that maybe the way you viewed that second round is the way she viewed the whole fight when it came to Teofimo Lopez. In accordance, okay, with the way her father actually scores fights. That they don't believe in all that fluffy stuff. I mean, hey, boxing is boxing, and it's good boxing sometimes. But she saw, listen, I'm being presumptuous here, I'll be honest with you. I don't agree with their scorecard. But if you're gonna throw a fucking hissy fit, if you're gonna stomp your feet and cry to the high heavens at the great injustice of Julie Lederman's card, there is no way in hell you should be giving Lomachenko that fucking second round. That's ridiculous. Because if you can lie there, you can lie everywhere. You can lie all the time. Don't tell me you want to see that round. Okay? And that round is unbalanced based on what? Based on what? But let's say, okay, fine. I'll give it to you. Then you should be able to see it from Julie Lederman's point of view then. That the way you saw that second round is the way she saw all those rounds that you believe Lomachenko dominated. Or at least fought. Or got the better. Because I don't think he dominated the fight anyway. I think he got the better of Teofimo Lopez on multiple rounds towards the end. Okay? But he was getting clobbered by heavy punches. He was getting lifted by those punches. You could hear the thud. You know what I mean? You could hear the thud. And maybe she just wasn't scoring the fact that Teofimo Lopez was actually tiring to suggest that that means that Lomachenko was winning the fight. But hey, listen, I don't agree with their scorecard. But if you are willing to give Lomachenko that second fucking round, don't try and tell me, okay, that Julie Lederman's card was somewhat skewed and an offense to God, to the gods of boxing or whatever the fuck you guys are fucking on. It's crazy.